I break it down?
I'm only a sophomore on the show. I didn't know coaches were eligible for this. Okay, they are just concluded in London. Vikings and Browns. Let me show you what happened. Early first quarter, Vikings have the ball, and it's Jordan Mason losing the football for them in the early going here. You see already that's Jordan Mason. Then it's Gabriel finding Harold Fannin Jr. for the touchdown. We're late in the skip all the way to late in the fourth quarter as the Vikings are trying to make a move here. They're down 17-14, driving and then throwing into the corner of the end zone.
Jordan Addison.
That's Jordan Addison, who had been suspended or at least benched for the early part of the game. We'll have more on that in just a moment, and then that would lead to this Hail Mary last opportunity. Tyler Gabriel, who's up and down, mostly good, knocked down in the end zone.
They see you, Dylan.
But hold everything just one moment here. I said Tyler Gabriel. Of course, it's Dylan Gabriel, I should have said. But the Vikings had called a timeout there before the ball was snapped. And so it's Gabriel again, this time trying to throw a completion. But the clock runs out before they're able to get another play snapped. Carson Wentz and the Vikings come away with a hard-fought win. 21-17 is your final score there. A game with so many different storylines. Again, Addison begins the game on the bench, winds up catching the game-winning touchdown. What exactly happened there? Adam Schefter.
Well, Greeny, Jordan Addison didn't play at all during the first quarter. The Vikings say it was a coaching decision. They're in London. A lot of people believe that it could be having something to do with a curfew violation. Kevin O'Connell is about to talk, but Jordan Addison, who did not play the first 3 games of the season due to an NFL suspension, returned last week, didn't play the first quarter today, but managed to catch the game-winning touchdown pass.
For them, so many storylines here. The Vikings going across the pond. They lose last week in tough fashion. Now they bounce back with a win here behind Carson Wentz. That's one part of the story. The other part, of course, is the performance of the rookie, Dylan Gabriel, the third-round pick, and all of the controversy that we saw there. What do we say about his performance today?
I thought both these quarterbacks played well today. Listen, the defenses were the story of this game. Both these defenses looked like they were going to overpower, especially these quarterbacks that, again, one making his first start. Carson Wentz has been so up and down throughout his career. But I thought Dylan Gabriel looked decisive. Again, didn't turn the ball over, got the ball out of his hands. And again, this offensive line has struggled. Again, the Minnesota defense, Brian Flores, presents so many problems for a young quarterback. And again, this guy looked control for making his first start. I think a lot to like if you're a Cleveland fan.
Yeah, I mean, all it is when you go against that Brian Flores defense, he's 10-1 against rookie quarterbacks now. This kid was outstanding, I thought.
Right.
I mean, he managed the game well. I mean, no turnovers. I think he got sacked maybe once or twice the whole game, but he looked in control. And by the way, accurate. Like he was spot on. Him and that the big tight end that you love so much, that Njoku.
David Njoku.
Holy cow, they look good. And this is the first time all season we can say that this offense actually was entertaining to watch.
Yes, it was. You know, one thing about it is you want, all this talk about the rookie, quarterback in Gabriel and him seeing this Brian Flores defense. We all thought he was going to really struggle. But I think one thing that you'll take from this game is you've seen this rookie. He grew from it. And one thing about it, he's not going to face a defense like this every week. So I like what I saw today.
Yeah, especially rushers like Malik Collins, who was getting, I'm going to the other side with Carson Wentz here, because that defense was after him. And Carson Wentz looked bad at times, but to finish the way he finished and get that touchdown pass to Addison the way he did. Wentz, that's all we want. You're a backup quarterback. Go out there when the game's on the line. Can you get it done? Wentz got it done today.
Didn't turn the ball over either.
Yeah. So what are the Minnesota Vikings? They sit there now at this stage. They're in a division where the Lions look like they are as good as ever. The Green Bay Packers, they haven't maybe looked as good as we'd like them to, but they certainly feel like a legitimate Super Bowl contender. What exactly are the Vikings?
Well, look, Kevin O'Connell is outstanding. He's about as good a coach as there is in this league, and he finds a way to get it done. This is with a quarterback that, to politely say a journeyman quarterback, they're still finding ways to move that ball offensively. And I don't know, I just think their defense with Brian Flores, that style of defense is going to be good. So they're going to still have a shot. Look, remember last year they won, 13 games or 14 games?
14 games.
In the regular season. So you certainly can't count this game
one
out.
thing that really stood out to me watching this game at the beginning, you heard me talking the 3-hour show about the number 1 wide receiver. I like the way they moved Justin Jefferson early in this game. They had him at tight end, they had him in the slot, they had him at running back. So going forward, I like what the Vikings is doing with a backup quarterback.
Listen, it's a good win for Minnesota, but what they are remains to be seen. Obviously, they have an elite defense, but when J.J. McCarthy gets back, right? Like he's had 8 quarters, 7 of them haven't looked pretty good. We just talked at length about the guy playing quarterback in Seattle that was there last year, Sam Darnold. You got to think, like, you got to wonder what this team looks very different with him at the helm, you know, and they obviously let him walk. I don't know. Obviously, when JJ comes back, what they are at that point still is an unknown.
As much time as Carson Wentz can buy this kid to get healthy and the defense can help Carson Wentz, this is what it's all about. And you hung on today and you got to win, which is great. How healthy is JJ now? How good can JJ be? The defense has got to help. But that's where Minnesota is. I mean, this isn't one of the best teams in football or anything like that. This is one that is figuring themselves out, but they're still able to get wins, which is
guys are still able to get wins with a ton of injuries on that offensive line as well. So I think when they get fully healthy, look, there's a reason they let Sam Darnold go. This organization has extreme confidence in J.J. McCarthy. So we'll see if it's warranted or not.
Let's pick up that thought with Adam Schefter here as we take a look at where they are with J.J. McCarthy and his return. Shefty.
Greeny, when J.J. McCarthy suffered his high ankle sprain, the expectation was that he would be back after the bye to come back at that point in time. Keep in mind, they also play the teeth of their schedule. They host the Eagles after their bye next week, then play at the Chargers and at the Lions. But the belief is that J.J. McCarthy will be ready in Week 7.
All right, so
measuring stick, we know who we are. We are a good football team. We can go into an opponent's house and win a football game. And Jonathan Cooper said, quote, everything counts. When you go against good teams, the mistakes are magnified, not only on defense, but on offense. Young quarterback Bo Nix going against Vic Fangio and the Eagles defense cannot turn the football over here at Lincoln Financial Field in this game, Greeny.
Sal, thank you. So many interesting storylines here. Let's go back to the beginning of what he was talking about. The Broncos have to prove themselves. They've beaten the 2 bad teams so far. They had the terrible loss against the Colts when they had that terrible penalty at the end. Teddy, you're a pretty tough judge. You were not buying into some team. Are you buying into the Broncos? Are they going to prove it today against the defending champs?
I like the Broncos. I mean, this is the team that I think is really on the up this season. I especially look at the defensive side of the ball. Sal mentioned Benito and Cooper, and if they earn the right to rush the passer today against Jalen Hurts and these Eagles, I'm going to show you just how explosive these 2 receivers are, because in a defensive meeting room, especially pass rushers, Rex, what do we always measure ourselves on? Get off. How fast you get off the ball, especially if you got a counterpart, okay? Because Benito has got Cooper. It's like, who's got it right here? Let's rewind it again, Coach. Let's watch it again. Who's the best get off right there? That's pretty close, but you will see identical. Bam! Just straight up off the ball, speed rush to get to the sack. Benito and Cooper, because right now they're talking to each other like, I got him. That's mine. No, I got half. No, that's mine. I got you. I got the get off. I'm telling you, this is the competition that you have between Benito and Cooper. Will meet you at the quarterback, and it reminds me back in the day. They had Ware, Moss. They had Miller. That's when they were getting off on my boy Brady right here. You see the get off here? Who's got it, Rex? I don't know. He may have it. You think Ware had it? Here we go. We're in the meeting room. Boom, I got you on the get off. I'm going to get you on the stack. Stop stealing my half a sack. That's what you worry about here. Bam. Broncos are used to having edge rushers like this. If you earn the right and you got these speed rushers, they can have a huge impact on the game today versus the Eagles.
Man, you hit it on the head right there. Earn the right to rush the passer. Philly, old school, get back to running the football on this group right here. And, you know, it's great. You saw that picture you put up there. The thing that I think the defense is well schemed as well. They showed a 5-man front, and they got all one-on-ones, right?
Yeah.
Well, what happened at the end? They had 2 edge guys one-on-one, and they literally had 3 blockers on the nose tackle and the back. So that's coaching as well. It's not just players, but it's scheme as well, and it coordinates well.